So Amnesty International claims China is putting Hong Kong on the fast track to becoming a police state. In a new report, the human rights group says freedoms in the city, like the right to protest and free press, have been sharply restricted. The report marks the one-year anniversary of a tough national security law drafted and approved by Beijing and imposed in Hong Kong. Ramy Inocencio reports.
Pro-democracy performers in hiding, supporting businesses raided, a free press targeted. China's national security law has inspired anxiety across Hong Kong.
It's very draconian.
Emily Lau is a Democratic Party icon. Many of her colleagues are in prison. How are you feeling about Hong Kong's situation today?
People are so worried and so frightened.
The national security law was a reaction to the 2019 anti-government protests. It's made subversion, secession, terrorism, and collusion with foreign forces a crime, but in reality empowers authorities to arrest anyone seen as criticizing leaders in Hong Kong or China's Communist Party.
The national security law is similar to what's going on when the Nazis took power.
Anti-China artist Casey Wong says Beijing is changing the norms of election, education, and expression. 500 police raided Hong Kong's last pro-democracy paper, the Apple Daily. It just shut down after 26 years. Smaller pro-democracy websites like Stan News could be next.
There is no room to retreat in reporting.
Lau remains resolute.
The fight goes on. The game is not over.
For CBS This Morning, Ramy Inocencio, Hong Kong.
So Ramy is joining me now from Hong Kong. Ramy, since this law has been put in place, but even before, we watched with you as you covered the protests in the streets, the reemergence of the umbrella protests. But it just seems like, and I know COVID has had a huge impact on this, it seems like there's less and less of those sort of public demonstrations or public criticism of Beijing. What is the mood like in the city now, and how has it changed over the last year with the implementation of the national security law?
Anne-Marie, yes, good evening. I think depending on, despite which side you are supporting, whether it's the pro-establishment, the pro-China side, or the pro-democracy side, I think everyone will agree that the national security law, 1 year to the day it was promulgated, actually has worked. The city on the surface is quiet. It seems stable, it seems normal, traffic is normal, restaurants are pretty full, but they say still waters run deep, and right outside my window is Victoria Harbor, a massive harbor here, and there is still so much anger, so much frustration. You might not see it, but the interviews that I've been doing for the past couple months, really, the people, when they're face-to-face with me, they're pro-democracy protesters or supporters at this point, they say that they're afraid to show their true colors, to show how they really feel. There has been a crackdown on even certain slogans that you could say that could be seen as being advocating for separatism. And then when people say them, they might whisper them, and people might, support in their hearts. They might maybe smile a little bit, but they're always on the lookout that the Hong Kong police, the authorities, are watching, listening for any kind of potential violation of the national security law.
So, Ramy, I remember back in the late 90s when Hong Kong was going to revert back to Chinese rule. There were people trying to leave Hong Kong in droves. I was living in Toronto at the time, lots of immigrants from Hong Kong arriving over concerns about what life under Beijing would be like. So they figured out a system, and it has seemed to be working, and now we're seeing this crackdown. Are people trying to leave Hong Kong? Is something similar happening?
The short answer is yes, Anne-Marie. According to the most recent data that's being compiled from airport departures in the past year, since the national security law came into effect, there's been a net outflow from Hong Kong of about 100,000 people. Now, to put that in comparison, there are about 7.5 million people. You might say on the face of it, it's not a lot, but it's still in outflow, and many of those people are moving to the United Kingdom because of past history, basically. A lot of people who were born before a certain year, they have the ability, they have the right to exercise the ability to emigrate to the United Kingdom, and so many of them are doing that. Now, the people who are leaving say that they don't want to live, or they don't want their children really to live, in a society that is more and more controlled by Beijing, by the Chinese Communist Party. But it's not to say that they're going happily or excitedly. I mean, a lot of these people have actually never even lived in the United Kingdom. They might say, oh, I have a friend, I have an aunt, I have a cousin there, and I'm going to not just London, but to other smaller cities too, where they've never been. So it's uprooting their lives totally, and the idea that they're leaving is just that they're not coming back, because the fear also is that if they do, they might be seen as tainted or as having left Hong Kong, and then they might be targeted if they did so.
So at this point, more than 100 people have been arrested in Hong Kong for violating the national security law, including Apple Daily founder Jimmy Lai. Yeah. Have there been any major charges or convictions on when it comes to sort of other prominent people so far?
Sure. Well, Jimmy Lai for sure is the biggest fish that the Hong Kong government and Beijing have been trying to get for not just years but decades, really. 72 years old, the founder of Apple Daily. If he's convicted of colluding with foreign forces, which is one of the violations against the national security law, he very well could spend the rest of his life in prison. But there is the first case. Jimmy Lai was not the first case. He was arrested last August, but the first case actually happened in just the first couple days of the issuance of the national security law last year, and now that deals with a 24-year-old man, and he was charged with two violations. One was terrorism, and another was secession. Now, the point here is that he was actually riding his motorcycle, and he allegedly rammed through a group of police officers, hitting 3 of them. He was also holding a black flag that was advocating secession from Hong Kong. This is according to prosecutors, and that both of those he's being charged with. He's actually going through the court process right now. It's unsure how this is going to work out, but you know, because he's the first case, he may very well be the example that Beijing and that Hong Kong authorities might use to say, listen, if you violate the national security law, this is what could happen. And he might end up going to jail for 7 years, and you know, he's 24 years old. He might even end up in prison for life.
Wow. Ramy Inocencio, thank you so much.